Hey everybody, Chef Matt Burton here from Dickey's Barbecue. Welcome back to Tailgating and Barbecue. This is episode 3, and today we are talking ribs. If game day is your happy place, great ribs makes it even better. Now, here's the game plan. We're cooking pork spare ribs for that meaty bite and classic backyard flavor. You can always use baby backs if you want something a little leaner, but the process is the same. So you'll need some ribs, a binder like yellow mustard or maybe a neutral oil, your favorite barbecue rub, some foil, a little butter, some brown sugar. I love to add a little bit of honey and sauce for the finish. Now plan on 1 rack for 3 people if you have, say, a lot of side dishes, but if you only have 1 or 2, assume 1 rack for 2 people. Now, let's move it on to pregame. Now, pregame is where you win. First, take off the thin membrane on the bone side so your rub can work. Trim the thin edges so the racks cook evenly. Now, lightly coat them with mustard or oil, then season on both sides. Now, that's key. Make sure you're seasoning on both sides of those, being generous with the rub. And let's let that rub be the jersey your ribs wear on the field. Yes, sorry about that. That's a little rough. They made me say that one. So anyway, let the rack rest for a while you heat up your smoker to 225 to 250. Maybe start at 250. By the time you put the ribs on, it drops down to 225. Hickory, oak, or a mix is perfect for the football season, of course. Now, it's time for kickoff. We'll put the ribs on bone side down. Very important, we put the bone side down, meat up so it touches the smoke. We're using the classic 3-2-1 rhythm for our spare ribs. About 3 hours unwrapped to build bark and color. We want like a nice mahogany color on there. You're looking for a deep red and dry surface that doesn't smear when you touch it with your fingers or your tongs or any. Keep the lid closed and let the smoke do all the work for you. So now it's the middle drive, right? We're around the 50-yard line. So we're gonna pull those out. We're gonna wrap them for 2 hours. We're gonna lay out the foil, a little bit of honey. Then we add a little bit of brown sugar. That brown sugar is gonna melt and become like part of the ribs. It's unbelievable flavor. Few pats of butter because, hey, everything's better with butter. Place the ribs side down onto this unbelievable goodness. Wrap it tight, back onto the pit, and this is where the tenderness starts to show up. You'll want it to bend and flex, not fall apart quite yet. Now we're in the final stretch. It's about 1 hour unwrapped. We've taken it out of the wrap. We're putting it right back on the grill. We're gonna flip the rack so the meat is back on the upside. We're gonna brush it with a little bit of our favorite sauce. And you know what? One of the things I like to do is you can thin your sauce with a little apple juice. Remember, you added all that honey and that sweetness. That apple juice is gonna pick up all that sweetness. It's really, really nice thing to do. Let it set until it looks shiny, just a little tacky. You should see the bones just start to peek out, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. That's a good clue that that meat started to pull back and it's getting really, really tender. The rack should bend like a smile when you lift it from the middle. And with the toothpick, should slide in or out with little resistance. You don't have a toothpick, you don't have tongs, you have that, you know what, grab that very end bone, wiggle it, it should fall right off and you're ready to go. Now, extra points. Here we are, we're wrapping this thing up. Now, we're gonna rest those ribs 10 minutes before slicing. We want all those juices to get around. Cut between the bones with the bone side up. Yes, actually bone side up. You're gonna flip it upside down so you can actually see where those bones are. It's easier to cut and gives a perfect looking presentation. Serve with some pickles and onions. Add a little drizzle of warm sauce on your platter or on your plate, and not on every rib. Put it on the side so that your guests can kind of dip it in. If you're cooking for a crowd, hold the finished racks in a foil pan with a splash of warm apple juice, covered right next to the pit. That helps keep them juicy without overcooking. Now, here's your 2-minute drill. If the game clock is tight, you're running out of time, you need to get these things happen a little faster, we're gonna run 2 racks at once. You don't have to just do 1. Same temperature, rotate it halfway through after the first 3 hours for even color. Keep a small spray bottle. I like to spray a little bit of apple juice on top because you're gonna have all that smoke. We don't want it to get too dark too fast. Gives it, again, that really nice flavor to it. And remember, clean smoke is your friend. If your smoke is white and is billowy, open the vents and let that fire breathe. That's the flavor we're looking for. That's the ribs for game day, the Dickey's way. If you try this, tag us so we can cheer you on. For more tips and tricks, visit us at dickeys.com. I'm Chef Matt, and I'll see you at the next tailgate.